So Colossae had this wonderful, clean, cold, pure water. Hierapolis had this natural hot spring, and here's Laodicea in between them with nothing. They had to pipe it in. So by the time the cold, clear, refreshing water got to Laodicea, guess what it was? Lukewarm. And guess what? When they would pipe in the water from Hierapolis and it got that nice, steamy, hot, natural spring water coming in, guess what it was when the time it got to Laodicea? Lukewarm. They understand lukewarm water. And so many people, I've heard this preached time and time again, that this heat is spiritual fervor, right? How many have heard that sermon? I wish you were hot or cold. It's like spiritual fervor. You've got to be hot for the Lord, and they'd get all fiery, and you've got to be hot for Jesus. But here's the thing. If the heat in the water is referring to spiritual fervor, wouldn't it better be lukewarm than cold? At least you've got some semblance of the life of Christ in you. Maybe not all the way. But what's Jesus say? I wish that you were, or, say it again, I wish you were, or, but instead you are. So it can't be spiritual fervor. The hot and the cold must have a different meaning than just the spiritual fervor, the temperature that we're surrounded with. Because if it were spiritual fervor, Jesus would say, I really wish you were hot, but instead you're lukewarm, but at least you're not cold. Wouldn't that be the translation? He wants us to be all on fire for him, but some of us aren't quite there. We've got a little bit, and it's growing in us, and we can fan that into flame, but I don't want you to be cold. But that's not what the text says. He says, I wish you were either hot or cold, but instead you are lukewarm. So if we look at the purposes of that hot water, people would go to Hierapolis to get in those natural hot springs for healing in their bodies. And if you've ever been outside on a hot day, you know there's not much better than icy, cold, pure water to bring you refreshing. So Jesus is saying the problem in Laodicea is that you don't see the spiritual condition of yourselves or those around you. I wish you could be like those hot springs and bring spiritual healing to the people around you. And I wish you could experience that spiritual healing own life. I wish you could see the needs of the people around you and be that spiritual refreshing, like that cool, cold stream. And I wish you could see the need in your own self to be spiritually refreshed by the cool, cool stream of my spirit in your life. But you're neither of those things. You're lukewarm. You're indifferent. You sit there and you don't care because you've got all you need, you think. That's what Jesus is saying to them. The problem with the Laodicean is that they were not concerned with other people's well-being, and they were not concerned with their own spiritual well-being, and they lacked good works and a good witness. That's why Jesus had nothing positive to say to them.